Hello, and welcome to THARSIS, the space crisis management game of seeing all your crew get killed horribly in space. Fun times. So this game was just recently released. Very much a survival type of game, so the idea is that you're on a ship in space, you've got only a few crew on board, you have to survive for 10 weeks on a mission to Mars. Very much a sort of board game slash video game hybrid. Uses a lot of, well, I guess RNG, in the form of actually rolling dice on the screen that you see, and then you play Yahtzee with those dice to make good stuff happen. It's probably easier to just explain, so let's get into it. I'm gonna get my team here. I'm gonna have a doctor, a pilot, a mechanic, and a captain on board. You can only take 4 crew with you. So I have played this game just 3 times now on normal. Each time I've managed to get to the end, so it's not too difficult if you're familiar with this type of sort of risk management strategizing. It's not too hard to get to the end on normal, but I haven't tried on hard yet, so possibly, if we end up doing more of these videos, we will try that one next. I've also got some characters here that you unlock over the course of playing the game. So after this game, we'll probably have the technician available. That'll be my second unlock. Anyway, yeah. Let's just get straight into it. I'll start the game up.
We had prepared for any disaster, for every disaster. Not all of them at once. We can't turn back, but how can we go on?
Alright. Cluster of micrometeoroids, crippled the ectomy, killed 2 crew. Your new goal, survive. So, this is the main interface of the game. So there's our ship. We've got all these different modules on board. If we bring up ship info, we can look at what each of them are, and we get a quick summary of what the special abilities are. So at each module, when you send a crew member there, you can spend dice to perform whatever its special is. So go to the greenhouse, you can spend dice of the same kind to get food. You can go to life support to regain dice, etc., etc. And here is our crew. So we've got 4 people, and they've got these little bars on either side and down the bottom. So the bar down the bottom, that's how many dice they have. So there's a maximum of 5 at the moment. These guys have 2, this one has 3, this one has 1. So that's how many dice they'll roll when I send them to perform an action. So 2 dice is really unbelievably bad, because basically you win this game by having 5 dice all the time, I've found. So early on they don't start you out with many, and that's when it's sort of at its trickiest. So we're going to be trying to get that dice up as high as possible, but I'll get more into that in a minute. Up the top right here we have health, maximum of 6. If it goes to 0 they die, pretty basic. Then we've got stress on the left. So stress is sort of goes between 0 and 100%. It's sort of weird. I haven't been able to nail down exactly what it does. All I know for sure, even that's not really for sure, but I have heard that having high stress means that between turns you get sort of worse events happening in the little projects that come up, which you'll see in a bit. And supposedly having low stress means you get better options with those, but I have not been able to concretely identify how much of an impact stress has on that. So those are the main stats, and then we've got 2 actual events that are occurring on the ship right now, these crises. So we've got one in flight control over here, and one in the medical bay. A little breakdown of what all this means. You've got the number at the top, that's its difficulty to repair it. So when you go and roll dice, like say you roll 3 dice, you might get a 6 and a 5 and a 4, and if you spent all of those on repairing it, that'd be 6 plus 5 plus 4, so that's 15 of the way. You need to get a total of 27 to fix that. this red part in the middle, that's just the effect that it will have every turn while it's unrepaired. So both of these events right now are causing everyone on the ship to lose 1 health every turn that they go unanswered. And a little just flavor description of what it does down the bottom. And it's also got these dice here, the hazards. So how the hazards work is they come in 3 different colors, blue, orange, and purple. Blue means it's a stasis hazard. So when you go there and you roll dice, anytime you roll one of the numbers shown, so over here it would be a 1 or a 3, you roll a 1 or a 3, that die will get locked. Normally you're allowed to re-roll dice once per action spent there, per turn there. You roll into a stasis and you can't re-roll the die at all. Orange though, orange means injury. Doesn't lock the die, like stasis does. Just means that any time you roll that number, so over in the medbay you roll a 5, every 5 you roll is 1 damage your guy takes, just for being there. So, those aren't too great. There's also purples, which are void, but they don't come up till a little bit later in the game, I think. Anyway, that's sort of like a basic rundown of everything. We've also got a few stats over here. We've got the ship, it's got the hull. We need that to not go to 0 or we explode. Assists are used automatically, to negate these hazards. You get 1 each turn. And then food. You can spend food between turns to give a crew +3 dice, which is pretty nice. We started with 2 food. Probably going to want to be using a lot of it, given we've got very low dice across the board. Yeah, and after every turn, every crew also loses 1 die just automatically as they get tuckered out, so it's pretty important that we keep their dice up high, otherwise they can't do anything. One way I'm going to be doing that is through the use of the captain, who has a special ability, and when they use it, they can spend 1 of their dice that they roll, a 5 or a 6, to give +1 die to every crew in the module. So a lot of it is going to be about positioning, waiting to activate the captain last, so that when they move into a module, there'll be lots of crew there for them to give their dice to. Although here we've got 2 crew in the same place, so we could just move the captain straight in and give them dice now if we wanted. But let's actually take a look at this board state. Right, so we've got 2 events that need dealing with. This one's much easier, so I would probably like to start with that. And to be honest, given how difficult this one is, 27 with, well, we've only got 8 dice between us all right now, I'm probably just going to let that one sit for a turn. We'll have to deal with it next turn, but in the meantime I think we can just tank the health damage. So how this works is, during this turn, each of these crew are going to activate once. They're going to move to a module, and then they are going to roll some dice and perform any abilities available to them. They can also pour dice into science down the bottom, which I'll get to in a bit. Yeah, so they move, they activate, and then their turn's done, and the week ends when all my crew have activated, and then we'll get new events happening. So, the way to deal with this is I'm probably going to want to... I'm tempted to move the captain straight in here. He's going to give some extra dice to these people, and then he'll use the greenhouse, try and grow some more food. If possible. He's only got 3 dice at the moment. The mechanic is sort of stuck in the medbay with only 1 die, so mechanic's not going to be very useful, but probably I'll move the pilot in, then the doctor in, he can heal them all, and then we'll see what the mechanic can do. Alright, yeah, let's start with the captain actually. So, captain's going to deploy into the greenhouse. Let's roll some dice. That's pretty good. So I'm going to hold on to the 5. And I'll hold on to the 6. And then ideally I'll re-roll this into either a 5 or a 6 and we can get some food out of this. No luck. So instead, let's just spend the 5 giving everyone here +1 die. And the 2 and the 6 can go into research. So research can hold one of each number, so it holds a maximum of 6 dice at a time, and you can spend them either on doing one of the science projects listed down the bottom for the cost shown. They have pretty useful effects, like these are both just repair a lot in one module. It's pretty nice. You can also spend 1 science at any time to shuffle and get a new 3. But we don't want to do any of that right now, we just want to finish this deployment. I've got a few extra dice to these people, so let's move the pilot in here and see if you can fix up the medbay somewhat. Ouch. So there, we rolled 2 5s, which are injuries. We had 1 assist, which negated the first injury, but then we had another 5, so we took 1 health damage from that. So he doesn't have a lot of health. This is kind of awkward, because I could actually just repair this right now by spending all 3 dice. But I sort of want to heal him. Very tempted to reroll the 4. If it becomes a 6, it's pretty good. It sort of does just have to become a 6 though, so... We're about to move the doctor in, so I don't think I need to heal him, so let's just repair this. Let's not get cute. Now, in theory... No, there's no way I can repair this. Because I only have 3 dice and then 1 die. Maximum that can get is 24. There's no way it can deal 27 to this thing. So let's just move the doctor in here and get some healing done. Yep. I'll hold the 6. Don't need to use the medbay special on her. Restore the active crew member's health to full because she's about to go to full anyway, so I'll just keep a 1 and a 4, I think, because they're useful in science right now. There we go. And finally the mechanic. Mechanic's only got 1 die. He can't do a lot. He could get started on the fight control. And I think that's pretty reasonable here. Also have to keep an eye out for the captain. I only got 2 health, so captain's actually going to go down to 1. I'll probably want to move the captain into the medbay, which means I actually want to keep the mechanic where they are for now. Yeah, I'll just activate the captain in here, and they can either do science, or they can maybe repair the ship somewhat with their special. The mechanic has on a 5+, +1 health to the ship. Let's try for that. Don't want a 2, I'll re-roll it. 3 is actually fine. Just do some science. And that's the end of the turn. Everyone's activated, so now we get between 2 and 3 new events. First, that'll activate.
Sour. The crew's and my own. But if I can't lead them, we're all dead. I need to get it together.
Okay, so this is the thing that happens between turns, it's the projects. So the crew sort of splits into 2 groups here, and they each suggest a project, and how good the project is for you supposedly depends on how stressed they are. Stress, I believe, goes up anytime you roll into a hazard. I think it just goes down over time, or when you use special abilities. So, you have to choose one of these projects. So I can either have +2 assists, but stress these guys out, or +1 health for everyone, but -1 dice for these guys. And you know what? I'm super okay with that right now, because everyone needs more health, because we just had that -1 health to everyone thing. And you can't ever go below 1 die, so this person will be unaffected by this negative effect. This person will go from 3 to 2, but I was going to give them food probably anyway. Yeah, I like that a lot. I'll choose that one. Now I can choose to feed people. So what I want to do here is I want to give the captain food and the mechanic. Yeah. The first thing I'm going to do is move the captain into the medbay. And he's going to use they're going to use their special, give everyone else more dice. First, sucked a little bit, because it actually costs you 1 health to move out of a module that has a vent in it, and the captain is sitting right there. Fortunately, they'll survive that, and they're going to heal themselves in the medbay anyway, so the -1 health shouldn't matter too much. But we've also got a few things that we need to deal with now. 27 is really hard. I'm going to use the disaster reduce on that. Meanwhile, this isn't too bad. We can move 1 person in there. Oh, and this one at the back, so this red bar means that at the end of the turn it'll deal 1 damage to the ship if not taken care of. And then we've got a purple hazard. So purple is void. Void means when you roll that number, that die is gone. It's removed from your pool for the duration of the task, and that's really hurts a lot. So void's not great, but 15 is manageable when we have this many dice. So probably start with the captain, going to take a bit of an injury moving over here. Then he's going to give everyone else more dice, and he's going to heal himself, ideally. Needs 2 5+s to do both of those things. Then I could move the pilot in there if we get some science for the disaster reduce and just immediately fix this thing up. Pilot special is they don't take damage from moving through hazards, so I could do that second if I wanted. Then the mechanic and the doctor deal with these respectively, I guess. Probably mechanic here, the doctor here. And yeah, we don't need to use the doctor's special to give everyone else more health, so that should be fine. Alright, hopefully this works out. Alright, goes down to 1 health, but we roll a lot of dice. And that's perfect, 2 5s. I'll hold on to those, and if I can get 1 more 5. Should have thought about this a little harder, because I'm actually going to waste 2 dice. Because there's just not enough science to put it into, even if I get another 5 here. But, roll what's left. Sweet. So, +1 dice to everybody. Recover all your health. And finish that science. These dice get wasted, but that's fine. Because I can't actually use the disaster reduce until I've moved over to the module I want to use it in, so I can't clear that right now and make more room in science. But we're in a good spot right now. Everyone has lots of dice, everyone has lots of health. Anyone can move straight in here and disaster reduce there to fix that. Could also use the MCC override, a smaller repair, to fix that up, because the void is actually hard to deal with. But I'm fairly confident that we should be able to just fix that regularly, especially if we're using the mechanic. We don't want to activate the next. Doctor is the least likely to work, so we'll see if this works out. Okay. Yeah. Well, I made another mistake. I actually should have moved the pilot first to free up more room in science. But, you know, that's fine. There's actually no reason to do anything but this, because I can't get 2 of a kind. +1 health is useless, and science is full. So yeah, that was a bit of a mistake. I should have activated the pilot first, but oh well. We'll do it now. Yeah, just go straight into that. So your benefit there is we can actually do that first before rolling, and now there's no more hazards because the thing has been removed, and this is actually too many 6s. I don't want that many, because the only thing I could spend an extra 6 on here is preventing movement damage to the rest of the crew, but they're not going to take that this turn anyway, so it would be pointless. Do I just re-roll both of these? I think so. Keep a 6. Having a high number in science is good. Yep. So there's a 5s and 6s in science are pretty nice because normally you want to spend your 5 and 6s elsewhere, so any time you get a chance to just put them in there, it really sets you up, leaves you in a good position for later on. Just if you need an emergency, repair or something from here. And finally we'll activate the mechanic, go over to maintenance. We still have that assist, that's really nice. That can prevent the first void. If I rolled like a 1 and a 3 at the same time, it always prioritizes void over stasis, and injury over both of those. So, yeah, it would prevent the void if I rolled a 1 and a 3. Anyway, let's just do that right now. Should be able to just use dice to repair this. Yep, so you see it. Oh, I rolled 2 1s. Okay, yeah. So we did lose a die there. This is kind of me asking how greedy I can be, because it would be really nice to only have to spend 3 dice on this. The only realistic way for that to happen and for me to put this to better use is to roll a 6 with that. Because ideally I'd like to put the 5 there. Oop, don't actually put it in, that'll be bad. 5 there, get the +1 on the ship. Something like a 6, and a 3 on the repair. Because as it is, 3 doesn't go into science very well unless I take a free shuffle, which I'm not actually sure I want to. These are okay projects already. Ship repair is 2 of a kind for 2 hull repair, or 3 of a kind for 3 hull repair, but I'm not going to have enough dice to do that. So, yeah, rolling double ones there kind of hurt a bit. So, what am I going to do here? I just put it all into repair. I think I'll do that. Don't take any chances. And no damage to the ship.
I let my fear get the better of me, but the others have proven me wrong. I'm proud of how the crew has come together. I think we might actually have a chance.
Alright. What are our projects? Get some food, that'd be nice. But become super stressed. Or get assists and become stressed. Assists. I don't actually know what the effect of maxing out your stress is, like if that has any mechanical effect, but I think Yuri will still have a bit left, just in case it does something really terrible that I didn't know about, because it's never happened before. I would like that food, though, a lot. And probably what I'm going to do this turn is try and send Yuri down to operations, because you can use the special ability of operations to remove 60% stress from a character. So I'll probably do that, because having food is really nice. Yeah, just nearly topped out there. Now, who is better to have the extra die? Almost certainly Tanabe, our doctor. Alright. We're in an alright position. Just the pilot's running a bit lower. 3 events. Not ideal. So the pilot is currently over here, but the pilot can just move out of these events if I want to put them somewhere else, which I probably do because this is a really difficult one and I don't want the person with 2 dice attempting it. It's probably not going to do much. Of course, I do have to fix at least one of these events so we explode. That or I need to fix the ship, which is a bit of a shame because I was hoping to get Yuri down to operations, but we might have our hands full. On the other hand, this hazard is just -1 food, and we currently have no food. So if I just move the doctor out of there, she'll take some damage. But we might not have to worry about that for the time being. Then I could get the captain to repair here, the doctor to repair there, and the pilot can back up if necessary. Alternative plays, I suppose, could be use the doctor to fix the greenhouse. Doctor fixes greenhouse and harvests food. Mechanic fixes the centrifuge. Captain moves over to fight control. Helps with that and gives another die to the pilot, who then finishes it off. Alright, you know what? I need the food, so it's gonna be the doctor here first. Okay, so there's nothing matching. These high numbers aren't even that good right now. 4 and 1 are okay, because we put those into science. It is possible I should just keep those for that reason. No. That's probably a better way to do this if you math it out, but I'm just going to keep them for now. Okay. That is some food. So that's something. Yes, I did just realize that I'm supposed to be repairing this and should have kept the 5s and the 6s. It's okay, I'm an idiot, but somehow it all worked out, because 5, 4, 4 goes into that, 1, 1. I'm very stupid sometimes, and forget that I'm supposed to be repairing a crisis, but it all worked out, oh my god. I'm very stupid. But it worked out okay. We got some food, we repaired the thing. If I had been a bit smarter, I could have got some... if I had been smarter and not kept the 1, I probably could have gotten some science as well. But that's alright. Sometimes you just aren't punished for your mistakes. So, we've got a food, which means I don't need to worry about the pilot so much. We should try and get... Yeah, I do need to deal with this stress, probably. Which means we are going to use the captain to repair this. At some point I will attempt to pick up some science, and that'll give enough for Hachimaki to get the MCC override. Hopefully, they can get 7 off the 2 dice they'll be rolling. That sounds really bad when I say it like that, but it might be possible. Captain rolls here. It always pains me to use the captain when... That's a shame that assist got used here, but that's okay. It always pains me to activate the captain when there aren't other people around, because his ability is so good, but it's alright. Can I just fix this right away? No, but I'll keep a 5 and a 4. Yeah, reroll these. That's pretty bad. So, most convenient way to do this is 5, 4, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, that looks good. Alright. Now we'll activate the pilot. Hopefully they can get 7 off these 2 dice. They can. Didn't even roll into one of the hazards. That's very nice. It's a shame they do have to spend both of them. But it's fine. So, do that. Do that. Yes, I absolutely should do this. Just considering sending the mechanic over, but I want the mechanic in operations. Overkill it by 4, but that's fine. We've got +1 food in its place, that's pretty nice. And finally, kind of just goes down here, tries to reduce their stress and fix the ship a bit. That was a terrible roll, because I need 2 5+, and none of those are 5+, so reroll it all. Oh, Jesus. Alright, mechanic might be staying here next turn. 2, 3, 4, 4. I have a freebie shuffle if I want it. I will take it. Yeah. -30% stress all crew. You know what? I I think that might be worth just using immediately. Hopefully we'll get better projects out of the deal. A 3 dice 1 crew, that's another very nice one.